Alright, this is Lucas here, back with another game. This one is from Raust, as they wanted me to feature them on the channel. We're actually playing as me. I haven't done a replay of. Sorry, here we go. I didn't take a look. I haven't done a replay of myself playing before, so I thought this would be a nice warm up. I'm a bit too self-critical and I guess insecure to show off my own play, but I will do that as well eventually. I just think it's a bit more fun to review other people's games, uh, as that would mean just more of a contrast of opinion. So, Ross' opponent, me, sets 5. At this point, they have to assume that I'm playing either warrior or some burn deck or other kind of stall deck. So, does shoot is flipped, picks off the tomato. Tomato is known to be good against warriors, as we struggle with efficiently dealing with a recruiter. Unlike, let's say, a set monster, which is easily cleared by Mystic Swordsman level 2, leaving the swordsman in play, while a recruiter almost has to be dealt with a Exile Force or DD War Lady, resulting in a clean 1-for-1. So I would imagine Rust sets the Mimic, sets the book. It is a bit sad because often there's going to be like Dust Tornado plus Blade Knight, or maybe even Blade Knight plus Judgment. But I mean, what you gonna do, right? Rose goes for a different line of play, summoning the Mimic. I think this is a very cool line, and I think it's a fun line. So what we're doing here is that this Mimic is now not going to get Nobleman or Cross-outed, and it's going to be protected by the book, and then Ross can flip-flop it with the Tsukiyomi. That's like the dream scenario. And also, we do have the option of sending it during the Stamina phase to get a Dark Mimic level 3 from their deck. So here, Ross' opponent fires off a Graceful and discards a Dust Shoot, which is a bit weird since the Tsukiyomi looks very good. So here it's a bit interesting, because Ross can now cash in the book to basically just cycle it to draw a card, but that is quite weak. This Mimic has not done anything at that point. So Ross decides to book the Sasuke. So yeah, I'm not a fan of summoning this Mimic, but it is interesting, and I don't hate it, but I would not have gone for it. So here I Dust Shoot Rust to pick away the Tsukiyomi, as I don't currently have an answer to a Tsuk flip-flop, and also I would have to somehow deal with the Tsukiyomi in battle to avoid it running over the Sasuke. So basically, Tsukiyomi is a must-kill threat with an ETB, enters the battlefield, trigger of drawing a card, which I cannot allow, so I decide to just shoot it away. Rust now has the opportunity to send the Dark Mimic level 1 to get Dark Mimic level 3. And Rust here could have summoned the Koichi and tried to attack over the Sasuke, but that's quite weak to Sakuretsu Armor and Mirror Force, so we decide against it. And we decided to leave the Mimic in attack mode, of course, because of Grandmaster Sasuke. So here I go for the Snatch Steal. And as I did use the Dust Shoot, I knew Raust had a Dekoichi, so this was all known. So here, Raust has a playable hand. We go for Tsukiyomi. We're going to flip the Sasuke and try to run over the Mimic, I assume. I fire off the Judgment. I guess Ross is going to set the Raigeki break here and pass. Could also set the Metamorphosis. Try to trade it off for a Dust Tornado if that was top decked by me. Also dodges a potential Dust Shoot. Now, we have seen 3 Dust Shoots, so that's actually not an issue. So yeah, maybe holding on to the meta is better. I'm not sure. So here also uses Raigeki break as Snatch Steal. I flip another Solemn. So the reason why I went with the darks here is that the Thunder Dragon is another light that Ross can put into the graveyard on demand, and thus trying to clear the lights with the Kaiku is somewhat pointless, whereas clearing the darks is actually possible to be relevant. And Ross could be playing Night Assailant, so I get rid of both their flips. Not that it's likely to matter either way in this game state. Heroes top decks the Heavy Storm, but I have the third Solemn Judgment. Triple Dust Shoot, triple Judgment, along with some pressure. And Ross has to admit defeat. So I don't think Ross played that poorly. I'm not a fan of the Mimic line of play, but I think it was quite cool. And I know Ross likes those lines, and I don't want to discourage people from trying things like that once in a while, because if you're not trying new things, are you actually improving? So here Rost opens with a great hand. I would imagine we're going to set Jujitsu Master and the Raigeki break. I personally probably would hold off on the decree, but that could definitely be wrong, as then the decree can get judgmented. But I'm so scared of a heavy storm, and I don't really want to set the monster without a trap behind it. Maybe we just risk the storm, you could make that case. That's not the line of play I like doing, but that could be the line here. Decided to go for the Mimic, which is slightly worse against Play Knight. But if we apply the logic that whatever we set is going to get either knocked, exile forced, or Mystic Swordsman, then I guess the Jujitsu Master is more valuable for later. Yeah, makes sense. We want to use the Raigeki break before we flip the decree, which we're going to do during the end phase most likely. So we do so now. And yeah, this is pretty good. So the Mimic flips, and now I imagine Ross goes for the Tsukiyomi. Yeah. Attacking here is a bit interesting, but with the decree, it's just correct. Decides not to set the Raigeki break, which I think probably is a mistake in case of like a breaker or MST onto the Royal Decree. Having a break set could be useful. I don't see it being in our hand being too great in the near future, but I could be wrong. This is unfortunate, of course. Yeah, this is very unfortunate. So this looks really bad. So Ross decides to summon the Jiu-Jitsu Master to run over the Swordsman, and this is quite nice because you run over the Swordsman, and then if the Dansalug swings in, you use the book onto the Jiu-Jitsu Master, and that's a blowout. And probably Rost is actually likely to win from there. But I believe I maybe even top deck the Didi War Lady. So I was thinking, how can I lose this? So Ross doesn't know this at the time, but me, I had triple trap set. So since my turn one, I've had three trap set into the Royal Decree. Uh, and I did actually side in, like specifically to hedge against Decree because I don't know. I think Rost is a Royal Decree kind of guy. So I felt slightly unfortunate, but the game is playing out so well for me, and our cards are matching up so well for my warriors that it's still looking pretty good at this point. So the War Lady is obviously great because even if there's a book, it's still going to be 2 for 1 in my favor, and if Ross doesn't use the book, it's a 1 for 0, so just perfect. And yeah, this is quite bad for him. So probably what they should have done was to set the Metamorphosis and the Raigeki break to play around with Stun Salug trigger. There was little reason to hold them in hand. I mean, you can argue that there's cards such as perhaps Tribe or Graceful Charity, but getting our cards in hand discarded doesn't help us in those scenarios. But obviously this was not how we planned it out to be, but I think we could have hedged for this scenario. Decides not to use the duo. I'm not completely sure if that's actually correct. You could claim that there are so many dead cards I could have here. But if that duo does pick off like just a body, a warrior, that could be very valuable. So I'm not sure. Maybe Ross should have used it there. It's rough though, it's looking bad either way. And here I do not. Here I decide not to send the top two cards of Rost's deck to the graveyard. I'm sure Maces would be mad, but yeah, obviously don't want to enable chaos for them. And Rosta draws another brick, and this is kind of what I mean. I'm a bit biased, but I never side a Korean against Warriors nowadays. It's not. I don't know. You just make your best cards worse. Your best cards being Mirror Force, Torrential Tribute, and other Battle Trap-esque cards. So Rust is going to lose here. And this was played in the 3v3 between my team and Rust team. So this was the first match. And this is there were 8 teams, and this is the semifinals, so 4 teams left. I won this game, which was the first game played, and then Ross team beat, I believe it was Shifty, who is on our team, and then Shifty beat someone. So now Ross team has 2 people left who has to win, and we only have one left who has to win. So we're in a good spot here. I would estimate we have about 75% chance of making it to the finals. And the finals we probably have 50%, so that's nice. Um, yeah, thank you to Rust for sharing this game. And I don't think Rust realistically could have won these games, but I do think there were slight improvements here or there. What I did like about this game though was that I won. I mean, um, I thought it was quite instructional in how it's not so easy to beat the warrior deck, even if you're heavily prepared with cards such as Royal Decree, Jiu-Jitsu Master, and a plethora of spot removal playing multiple Raigeki breaks. Anyway, that's it for this time. Thank you for watching. I'll catch you next time.